Hi, remember me? Who can remember what we were doing last week in history? Yep, Stone Age, well done. This time for library hour, it's going to be just a little bit different, okay? It's me who's going to read a book to you, but not just any book. This is a special book. This is a different book, okay? It's not just a normal story. This is real information, okay? Scientists have found all of this information throughout history. And it's just what we need to see in history. So it's just what we need, right? So, I will go showing you the pictures and everything, but I will go reading to you as well. Long, long ago, the Stone Age began a very, very long time ago, when the first people started making tools from stone. It lasted until around 4,000 years ago. Imagine, 4,000 years ago. I am 38 years old. And this was 4,000 years ago. Stone Age people also made tools from other natural things, such as wood, bone, animal skin, deers of the antlered deers, those things the deers have up here, like horns, big horns, okay? And plants. Here you can see how the people are making different elements that they need to use. On the move. For most of Stone Age people, they had to find food by gathering wild plants and hunting wild animals. Gathering, they had to get them from the trees or from the bushes. They lived in small groups. Each group moved from one place to another to find enough food. So if the food wasn't enough, or they ate all the food of that place, what did they do? Well done. They moved to another place where they could find food again. People built simple shelters to sleep in. They weren't sophisticated like nowadays, that they're big and that we've got lots of things in it, okay? These were super simple ones. They made fires for cooking food and to keep warm. And tamed dogs to help them hunting. Imagine, back in that period, they already had tamed dogs. As you can see here, you can see them building one of their huts, one of their shelters, and you can see boys and men walking around with their weapons. Stone tools. People made many different types of tools out of stone. Hand axes were made for cutting meat or plants. You can see it here, right? Arrows for hunting were made with stone tips. Scrapers were used to clean animal skins for making clothes. They would do different movements with these different types of tools, so they could get the things they needed. Each stone tool had to be chipped into shape. It was very hard work to make one of these. First, a tool maker chose a stone of the right type, shape, and size. These guys were super intelligent, as you can see. 4,000 years ago, they already knew that not every stone, not every rock was good for everything. So first they had to check the rocks out, test them out, see if they were appropriate. And if they were good enough, they would get them and shape them into whatever they needed to do. Next, they used a harder rock to hammer off big pieces. Not only did they choose a rock for their tool, they would get another bigger and harder rock to shape it in to the form or the way they needed. Finally, They used an antler to chip off smaller flakes and make sharp edges with the antlers of the deers. Yeah? They would chip very small parts off to make it even more accurate to what they needed. Hunting animals. People hunted wild animals for their meat. Some hunters, as today we all use different strategies to do different things, to solve different things, yeah? Like for example in math, some of us use the fingers, others use drawings, others use it mentally. These guys did the same. Some hunters used fires to chase groups of bisons until they fell over a cliff. So they would chase them along with fire until they went down the cliff, and that was an easy way to get them. Other hunters trapped reindeer in narrow valleys, as you can see here now. I'm going to put the book closer so you can see. And then they would throw spears at them. They were trapped in a small place, and then with the spears, they would throw them and they would capture them. People often used bows and arrows to shoot small animals. If we think about it, this still happens today. People still shoot arrows, but it's mainly a sport nowadays, right? Here we can see the different things. Some Stone Age hunters used arrows like these with stone points. The points were attached to sticks using glue and string made from animal parts. These guys couldn't go to Jumbo or to Líder and buy glue or sticks, okay? These guys had to make every single thing they needed. And for that, they had to invent them because most of these things didn't exist. Things started existing on the way as human beings started to need different things. So they started inventing things to solve their problems. Fishing. In the Stone Age, people had different ways of catching fish to eat. They used fishing spears called harpoons. These harpoon points were carved from antlers and attached to wooden handles. If you can see here, we can see different ways of carving the antler, right? Because obviously they needed them in different way to catch the fish. They also used fish hooks made from bone and fish lines and nets made from twisted grass. Nowadays, probably they're made of or cotton or plastic. Those days they were made out of plants. Imagine the guy or the missus that had to make this net for the fish so they could fish. Imagine the time that would take. Stone Age people also invented clever traps for catching fish. They blocked the fast flow stream with stones and a wooden basket. That's intelligent. The water swept through holes in the basket while the fish got stuck in it. These guys were super cool. Very intelligent guys. There we've got them trapping, stopping the flow, and trapping the fish in it. Gathering food. Stone Age people didn't just hunt animals for food. They gathered wild food such as roots, berries, nuts, and seeds. Who can remember, or who knows actually more than who can remember, what things we eat nowadays are the things that Miss Kim just mentioned? Yes, we eat all of them. Up to, obviously, in a very different way, very differently prepared, right? But we still are eating things that these guys 4,000 years ago thought it was a good idea to have for a meal. They made a type of bread from the seeds of barley or wheat. First, they used stones to crush the seeds into powder. Then they mixed the powder with water to make a dough. Yes, just like the Play-Doh we know, right? The dough is the thing before, sort of thing. We put the bread into the oven. It's like a gooey, squashable thing. They bake the dough on flat rocks placed on fire. They actually look like mini pancakes, don't they? These guys are super. Making clothes. Clothes were often made from skins of animals such as deer. People scraped the skins clean and then rubbed them until they were soft. Remember that these were wild animals. So their skin and their fur wasn't very soft, right? If we think about our skin is super soft, right? We don't need to protect ourselves of many things. They had to protect themselves of lots of things. So they needed a tough, strong skin. Yeah? So they took the skin off. They would do a process to make it softer, so then they could put it on and feel cozy. We're going to have a short break now, okay? And then we're going to continue reading. Yes? I'll be right back with you.